Hello there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and boy is this an early concert poster for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I love early in anyone's career, and this is about as early as it gets. In fact, it might be the earliest known Hendrix concert poster, but if it isn't by just a week. So this is early 1967 in the United Kingdom, of course. Remember, Jimmy was an American-born artist, the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, and all that stuff, but he was taken to London by Chas Chandler, and that's where the Experience was born. So all of his early gigs and recordings were done over in the UK, and including this particular gig. He had played here, of course, as a guitarist for the Isley Brothers and things like that, but the Experience was formed in London. So here we have a very seminal poster for sure. America wouldn't see him till Monterey Pop later this summer, but he was already gigging here in February in the UK as the Experience. And yeah, there's in fact, there's even a big difference between America and the UK in his chart action, like 8 or 9 months difference. So you could say America dropped the ball on Hendrix, but really it was Jimmy forming the Experience with 2 other British musicians, Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding, and that's what, it just everything worked like magic, so who can fault it? So here we have February 10th of 1967. Now this, if it's not exactly the earliest poster, it's certainly the earliest poster image, because this image, this particular template, if you will, was used for 3 consecutive Fridays, and that was February 3, 10, and 17, and this, of course, is the middle one, and the other 2 were used for the Ricky Tick Club, which was in Windsor, England, which was basically it was east of London, but it was basically a suburb of London. So, but this middle one here was used for Newbury, Berkshire. So what's great about this is that his first 45, Hey Joe, if you like Hendrix, you know Hey Joe, it's one of my favorite Jimmy performances for sure, had been out for about a month. And it was doing well and going up the charts, and so Chas Chandler, the manager, was all excited, as was Jimmy, and it would eventually get up to number 6. So they were busy recording this week the second single for release, and that was the fantastic Purple Haze, and they had planned it very much for the second single, so they had started recording it already during this week. Now, Purple Haze actually had been started in January in a different studio, but this is the month, and of course the month is very young, just February 10th, that literally the previous few days, Jimmy and Chandler had moved to Olympic Studios and started recording there, more of a big-time studio, with engineer Eddie Kramer. And so thus, once again, you have just a few days before this performance, the dynamic creative trio of Chandler, Hendrix, and Eddie Kramer was born, and boy did they do well by Jimmy's early career, no doubt about that. And during this week, by the way, at Olympic Studio, Kramer, Chandler, and Hendrix also worked on Purple Haze and Fire. I should say Fire and Foxy Lady. I already said they're working on Purple Haze, the second single. So here it is, a large paper British concert poster, just like they made them back then. They didn't make them on cardboard. And there's the Plaza Newbury up there, and you know why James Brown's smiling face is on this poster? I have absolutely no idea, and I have a feeling that nobody does. But it was in Newbury, Berkshire. You might remember the English band Traffic had a song called Berkshire Poppies on their first album, and it was 60 miles east of London, so it was quite a train ride to go out there. And down there, once again, we've done this scan, and down there at the bottom, the admission is 7 and 6. And probably amounted to about a couple of bucks or so. So this early in his career, how did Jimmy sound? Well, that's a good question, and luckily we have a book called The Concert Files by Tony Brown, and he actually has a description from a critic's report of this very night and how Jimmy was. So just read real briefly from it because it's amazing. Resplendent in red corduroy trousers and antique waistcoat, Jimi Hendrix proceeded to show just how many positions it was possible to play the guitar in, showing skill which must rate him as one of the most, and again, this was a quote at the time, when Jimmy was a total unknown, rate him as one of the most outstanding newcomers on the scene since Jeff Beck or Eric Clapton. He also showed flashes of onstage humor, introducing Hey Joe as being written by Mickey Mouse. After a sudden frenzy in which he attacked his amplifier with his guitar, he said, "Anyone want to buy an old guitar? This one don't tune so well." Yeah, no kidding after that treatment, obviously. The finish came with an excess of violence. Drummer Mitch Mitchell broke a cymbal stand into pieces and then squirted the other two with a water pistol. The bass guitarist, Noel Redding, of course, locked his bass in its case and then kicked it all over the stage. And Jimmy attacked his huge amplifier with his guitar, breaking all the strings and nearly topping over the amp. He then squatted on the guitar with both feet and rocked back and forth. Jimmy, such bad boy behavior. Thus the evening ended, the reporter finishes, with a storm of feedback, flying microphones, and water pistols. So what can you say? You know, 1967 rock and roll, including the Who smashing all their equipment, is just the way things were. And what's really nice is I found this photo. You want to see the creators of the mayhem? Here's the Hendrix Experience from just 10 days after this show. That's right, this is February 20th, 1967, and you can see just how young, especially Mitch Mitchell there, looks compared to how he would grow out later, and Noel Redding, of course, on this side of the picture. And that's what they look like on February 20th, and this is the concert poster from February 10th of 1967, between the release of Hey Joe and the recording of the second single, Purple Haze. What a great, great early seminal piece for the Hendrix Experience. So, great to show off today. Just love this kind of thing. So hope you enjoyed it too, and take care. We'll see you next time here at postercentral.com. Have a good day. Bye-bye.